Hi guys, so I know a lot of you had asked me to do this tutorial, so I've just quickly filmed it for you. So this is all you're going to need to achieve the fluffy soap brow look. And all I'm doing is taking my spoolie first of all, and I'm taking this vitamin E infused water, but you can use just regular water. And what I'm doing is soaking the spoolie just enough so it's not soaking wet or dripping, just enough to become wet enough to get some of the soap to stick to it. And this is an old Carbon Theory soap I'm using. You can use any soap you like. This is just an older one I have. So I'm starting by basically brushing all the hair up the way. You want all your hairs to sort of be up, and it just gives it that look like you've got like a really full kind of bushy brow. So I don't have a lot of hair at all to work with, so I know a lot of you were asking if you could achieve this look because you didn't have a lot of hair to work with, but I'm the exact same. I actually overplucked my eyebrows when I was about 16 and they just never grew back. So this is all I have to work with. So all you're doing is concentrating on brushing all your hairs. If they're not sticking up, you can just tap them lightly with your finger, and that will kind of push them down into place, as long as they're up the way. And now what I'm doing is taking my eyeshadow. I actually think a powder is much easier to use for this look. So just grab any eyebrow powder or eyeshadow works just as well. And what I do is I use a lighter kind of brown just for starting off, just to kind of map out my shape. And I always start with the kind of underside of the brow. So I'm doing this kind of line first underneath just to get my overall shape. And then what I'm doing is I'm going up the top now, and you're going as thick as you like here, like just to create your sort of almost like a stencil. And then you're going to go back in and fill in the middle of the brow. So basically all you're doing here is creating your shape. So it's much easier to do the bottom first and then go up the top, and that way you can sort of pick your thickness. But I think with this kind of brow, like the fluffy brow, you want to go a little bit thicker than usual because you actually want to show the brow hairs. So if you actually go in and do a thinner brow, you're not going to be able to see the hair as well. Okay, now all I'm doing is taking like a lighter hand and some more product, and I'm just filling in the middle. And you're basically just starting to fill in the full brow now. So you can go quite light-handed here if you want to see a bit more hair, but I like to go sort of a little heavier handed at the tail of the brow just to give it a bit more definition. And I take a bit of a lighter hand near the front and I kind of feather the product in and kind of flick it up like you can see I'm doing there. And that gives the illusion that it kind of just tapers off and it looks a lot more natural that way. Okay, so now you can see I've left some sort of hairs a bit too high up. So all you're going to do now is go back in with your spoolie and just shape your brow to how you like it. So some people like the hairs still coming right up to the top, but I like to just sort of shape them down a little bit more. And now this last step is optional, but I think it really looks nice and a bit more polished. So you can leave them as they are just now, nice and natural looking, or you can just take this little step, which I actually need because I made a few mistakes. And you're just taking concealer and a little tiny brush, and you're basically just going right underneath the brow, cleaning up any little areas you've maybe kind of messed up. And in the process, it also makes your brow stand out a lot more. So this is just basically giving the brows a bit more definition, and that overall kind of polished look to them. And you can just leave it like that. After you've done your concealer, just make sure to sort of blend it out a little bit so it's not too harsh, and buff over with some more eyeshadow just to blend it all together. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking a little bit of my foundation on that same brush, and I'm just going back in on top now to sculpt my brow a little bit more. Sometimes maybe you've went a little bit too thick with it. It means you don't have to start again. All you're doing is just sort of taking away the bits that you don't like. And that's another tip if you kind of mess up or you wanted it a little bit more thinner or whatever. It's another step just to sort of perfecting it. Now I'm just going back in with some bronzer and blending any kind of harsh lines I'd left out. And that is really it. This takes not long at all once you've kind of got the knack of it. I've been practicing this since the start of lockdown now, and I really like the way it looks. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I hope this was informative enough to make sense. But thanks, and I'll see you on my next video.